From surgically modified bodies to becoming a millionaire in a day business, do we even know what's real anymore? Every day we are faced with the next best thing when we're just trying to become healthier, wealthier, and happy. What the fuck is real? What the fuck is true? What the fuck are you supposed to believe about yourself and your success while trying to build something that actually lasts? Welcome to What the Fuck is Beauty Anyway, the podcast. I am your host, Jenn Carrasco, founder of Raga Studio, a fitness champion, IFBB pro figure competitor, a skincare line creator, and a serial entrepreneur. Well, and I'm an overall business coach. After years of building businesses from the ground up, I am here to help you with society standards and, well, to use your beauty within to build something that is truly you and truly impactful. So now let's dive in. Hey, everybody. It's Jenn Carrasco here with WTF is Beauty Anyway. So I just want to bring on a special guest, and I'm going to have her introduce herself personally. But before we do, I just want to say, please like, review, share, get the word out there, get the word out about healthy beauty, business. I mean, I'm bringing on some amazing, badass business women. And if you have not followed my guest that is coming on today, you need to go follow her because she is awesome. She is one of my Apex executive sisters. So I am thoroughly excited. So I am going to let you introduce yourself and give everybody a lowdown of exactly who you are, what you do, and why you are so badass.
Oh, wow. That no pressure, right?
I know.
So thank you for that. I am Denise Swick. I am a real estate broker, owner of a RE/MAX franchise. I've been selling real estate for well over half my life. I started at 20 and I've been doing it 32 years now. So it's literally all I know. But I specialize in senior relocation, estates, and probates, which is near and dear to my heart. And it's seriously like, it's what I do. It's what I know. And it's a very rewarding life for me, I guess I should say.
So what got you into it?
Oh, it's a funny story. I don't know how long we have, but it was a fluke. I literally was 20 years old, and I was a full-time college student studying business at a local university. And my girlfriend and I just saw this little ad in the newspaper, and we're like, well, we have nothing else to do this summer, so let's go try it. So long story short, we went, got our, for the summer, we went to the classes, got sponsored, didn't even know you had to get sponsored, like what 20-year-old knows about buying a house, right? This was back in 1989. And so I got in the business and I had a really great manager, and I didn't sell anything for like 5 months, but I worked really, really hard. I was still going to school full time. And then I sold 5 houses and I was hooked.
There you go. But that's not, she's just giving you like a lowdown. She is all around, go-getter, fire. Yeah. And by the way, today is her first podcast, correct?
Yay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She told me before we went on that I popped her podcast cherry.
Yes. And I was glad it's you.
So, you know what? I'm really into wanting to give back to others and help other people. And especially, and I don't mean this like any sexist way, but especially females, because as single females, I know a mom by myself raising my son. We all have to work hard and we have to do things in life to get to that next level. Yeah. And what would you give as advice maybe to your younger self or to somebody that's looking at the fact of, maybe they want to go in the field that you're in, or they're hesitant, or even I get a lot of girls that, they haven't really found their passion yet, but it's something that they can take care of themselves with, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
So, yeah, I'll try to answer all of that because that's also a passion of mine. And so, my younger self, like, I think it was kind of good that I was so ignorant about what I was getting into because I really wouldn't have any idea how much work it was going to take. Right. But anything that is worth doing and worth doing well, it takes a lot of work. And I think that's one of the things that men or women totally underestimate is how hard it is to become successful. Because once they see these people that they, emulate like you and, perhaps me and, other people, it's like we make it look so easy. But like it's kind of like a iceberg, like you only see the tip and it's all the other stuff underneath it that is just the hard ass work that it took us to get there. And specifically with real estate, it was funny today. I saw an article that said National Association of Realtors is at its all-time high of members, right? So yeah, the market's doing good, but like everybody is in the business and our industry as a whole kind of is how do I say this politely? They're just liars, right? Like it's
yeah,
a numbers game. And I'm just
yeah,
going to be frank. And I trust me, like 32 years, I love what I do. It is in my blood. And if it doesn't get in your blood, it will clean your clock, right?
yep,
Because we are, we're serving the public, and there's really not an off button.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like, it's not just about showing pretty houses and you just write a contract. I literally have had 6 people quit this year because it's too hard. And I'm paying them to show houses and write contracts like a salary, right? So, but that's all the fluff part about anything. Like it could be like you like becoming an esthetician, starting your company, your other company, like nothing is easy. You have to put the work in, you have to put the time in, you have to have realistic expectations, but also just shoot for the moon, like
amen.
being ignorant, not knowing about real estate. Once I realized what I had gotten into and the amount of money that could be made, it was attractive, right? But the hard work it was going to take to get there, I had no idea.
Mhm.
And about 9 or 10 years into it, I was going to get out because I didn't really care for like a lot of the practices and so forth. But then I realized like, well, where the hell can I go to make already what I'm making? It's like 6 figures at, whatever, 29 years old. That was a lot in the 90s.
Yeah,
And so I went and hired, I found a business coach. And I only found that out because I went to the number one at the time agent in my marketplace. And I was like, well, shit, there's only 24 hours in a day. He's got the same, I've got the same. He's doing something clearly better than I am. Right. So, and then going in and like figuring out what it takes and then be willing to do the work that it takes and ask for support.
yeah.
I don't know if I answered all your questions. I get off on my tangents.
No, no, go for it. That I'm the same way, but yeah, no,
Yeah, but it is. And it's just, I mean, it's a very rewarding career, but the misnomers out there are
dude.
so rampant. Everybody thinks, like you said, NAR, national record high. Well, there's only so many houses to sell. Like in my area, I'm in Dayton, Ohio, and northern Cincinnati. Our listing inventory is 30% less than what it was last year before COVID. And that's what's increasing the demand. And me personally, I became a really strong listing agent. Now we work with buyers and sellers both in my company, obviously.
Mhm.
But for me, I learned how to leverage my time. And
Mhm.
that's what that other agent did by working with the listing market. And that takes another whole skill. And so that's how I can do 100 plus deals a year myself with some support. But you have to learn how to leverage your time and really do what it takes. 87%, Jen, of people that get a real estate license are out in 6 months, and
Yeah,
another 87% in 2 years.
yeah,
So it mimics much of the entrepreneur
mhm,
startup businesses, all the time, whether it's
mhm.
real estate or like
Well, they
beauty
think they're
shop.
just gonna make money,
Yeah, yeah.
you
And
know?
it's not,
No.
everybody thinks like you get a real estate
Yeah,
license, you get your business picture on your business card, and you're instantly infamous, right?
yeah. You're
You
gonna
know,
make $20,000
wrong.
on your first.
Yeah, right. So no, I mean everything takes work.
Yeah. Where do you feel like at the market right now? So since you're saying that it's saturated, right? And I've seen this, we saw this in 2008, I think it was. So
Yep,
it was overly saturated with people because it was
yep,
like they were making a shit ton of money
yep,
selling homes that were totally overpriced, right?
yep. Banks were printing the
And
money and
yeah. And then the whole shebang kind of fell apart. And then all these people are scrambling because they don't have a job to go to, right?
Yep.
Your vision going forward from today on, what is your insight that you can give to A, the public,
Hmm.
or B, people that are in the industry,
Hmm.
or C, people that are trying to get into the industry with what's coming?
Yeah. So first, the public is like any market, stock market, or whatever market it is. Real estate is a market. It's not just about pretty
Absolutely.
houses. Like it's crazy. But I don't know when it's going to be. But there's always an ebb and flow.
Yep.
There's a lot of statistics out there about the over 33% of the country is in forbearance. They stopped the foreclosures back early last year. Those will be coming on the market, and
Yeah.
it won't be like they won't all hit the market like they did in 09, 10, 11, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
honestly, from those years, that's when my business thrived. Like,
Yep.
again, learning how to do the listing side of it. And that's what I would recommend to, people that want to get in the business is learn how to do the skills. And basically, and this is going to sound crazy, it's just telling the freaking truth, right? So when people don't have any skills, and this is sales, it's real estate 101, it's sales 101, it's attorney 101, it's insurance 101. When you're cheesy and you don't know what to say, you just pull shit out of your, what, and say it. But when you learn what to say and how to say it and you're honest with people, like that's all it takes. But it for some reason takes people so long to figure that out.
Yeah.
People would rather have you say, especially as a new agent, that's a really great question, Jen. I'm not 100% sure. Let me go find out the answer for you.
Yep.
Instead of like some bullshit answer that they just made up and the people are like, that doesn't sound right,
Yeah.
And then with the public too, like we're going to have that. It's not going to be a crash, but
Yeah.
there is going to be more supply in the market.
Yeah.
And the third factor is one of the factors that cause, especially in my area, like I can speak for, Ohio, especially Dayton, Northern Cincinnati, is we're an aging population here. Like we're not like all the college kids are running to and like, increased population. So the aging people, the seniors and whatever, they've not been putting their houses on the market because they were so afraid of COVID. So everyone's having vaccines. And with me specializing in that type of business, I mean, I literally had laryngitis and bronchitis about 3 weeks ago. And I had a sweet lady. I was coughing my head off. She's like, "Oh, honey, do you want some water? Take off your mask. I'm fully vaccinated." The confidence that they're getting. Literally, and I'm like, I promise you, me too. And I've had, I've got bronchitis. But the confidence that they're getting is they're going to start putting their homes on the market. And that's how the houses recycle. Like, people move up, people move down,
Yeah.
and so learning and understanding real estate is more than just pretty houses and writing a contract. Like literally, like we're almost practicing law.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's just, so I got the agents, I got the public. And what was your third person? What was the third criteria?
Oh, that was for, what was it? The public,
What's coming?
people going into their career
Yeah.
with going into that.
Yeah. And realizing, going into the career. Yeah. So everybody, wants to be a lone ranger, you know, and they don't want to get on a team. They don't want to go work for somebody else. Well, you would not believe the free shit that I did for other people that had been in the business for so long, like trying to learn everything I could about this business. I mean, heck, I'm a 20-year-old kid, like I had to look the part. I had to
Yeah.
talk the part. I didn't know I never bought a house. It took me 2 years in the business before I bought a house. But you have to learn to not just be a lone ranger, like get rid of your ego, like find somebody can that will mentor you. Teams are really like they're going to outdo all the onesie peoples.
Yeah.
But find somebody that can coach you, that can mentor you, and that isn't going to give you just a bunch of BS. Like everyone talks about training, everyone talks about all this stuff, but ask them deep questions like, well, how long have you been selling real estate? Like, how many deals do you personally do? Because a manager or a recruiter can tell you anything, but one of the biggest lies in the real estate industry is that they can coach you and train you to a high level production when they've never freaking done it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just ask really good questions and don't be a lone ranger. Like don't want about like, because it's tough. There's very few people, especially with as fast as the market moves. And, we've worked with many buyers over the last couple of years that we've been able to take from other real estate agents, not like purposely, but they've came to us because their agents are one people and they can't pivot as fast as we can. So,
Yeah.
we've got 2 or 3 people that can be like, hey, I can't be there at 5 o'clock. Can you, because we do work together. So affiliate yourself with somebody who's truly a coaching, mentoring team, and don't try to just be a lone ranger on it.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
fail. You'll go through your savings and your friends and your family, and you'll be out in 12, less than 12 months.
So I know that when I flew into Dallas, I think this was a couple months ago, you were doing a video and a photo shoot and things like that. And I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
having a conversation with you. And if anybody doesn't know, she is an absolute like bright light. She has
Aw.
an amazing soul. And you can just see it when you look into her eyes. Like, that. And she has a passion. And I don't know if you are doing this yet or not, because I know we were talking about it, but it was the education part of what you wanted to start implementing.
Yeah.
Are you fulfilling that?
Yeah. So I have a whole onboarding, coaching, and training program
Nice.
that is from basically it's just modeled after the coaching program that I got into back in 1999 or 2000.
Yeah.
And it's intense. It's not for everybody because, again, it comes back to doing the work. If you can't just show up, write a contract, and get it accepted, it's crazy. But it starts from just the basics of real estate, like 101 to writing a business plan to learning how to write contracts to prospecting on the phone. Because if everyone's like, they want leads, leads, leads. Well, if you don't know what the fuck to say to them, then you're not going to, you're not going to convert them. You know what I mean? So it's an intensive 6-week program. And yes, we do have, and I charge for it too, because I've given it away for free for so long, Jen. And that's where I've been like beat up and worn down because, you've heard the cliche, like there's no value in free. Well, there's really not.
There's
So
not.
people spend, $1,500-$1,600 a month to get their real estate license, not a month, but to get the real estate license. And then they expect to get in and make $100,000. Well, the average real estate agent in Ohio makes less than $35,000. So, and that's like, you never know when that's coming in, so at least if you make $35,000 and you get like weekly installments of that, you know how to budget. But if you don't, you have no idea. Right.
Yeah.
So, but the whole, then they don't invest in themselves after that. Right.
Yeah.
They think that they just know everything. I just had to do my continuing ed or I would not be able to sell real estate next week. So, and I even learned something like every time I go through my continuing ed, like I learn like, oh yeah, like this. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I consider myself pretty smart in this industry.
Yeah.
But the whole training program is if they finish the program, and we've had people right to the very end and ready to pass the test, which is, presenting, like I show them a live listing presentation, live buyer presentation, like everything that you need to do to talk to the public professionally. Right.
Yeah.
And they get right to the end and then they're like, oh, this is too much work. I'm like, are you kidding me? So we've started charging for the program, which is very productive because when they're paying for it, then it's not that I want their money. I want them to have a commitment and some skin in the game.
Yep.
And then as soon as they get through the program, they graduate, then they're eligible for leads. And then we start, like 2 sales, I believe it is, then we give them their money back. It's like, I don't want their $750. I want them to commit to it. And my time is worth more than $750. And I'm going to spend way more than that. Even in the program, even though everything is, online, I still do a lot of one-on-one coaching and training with them. So we're passionate about that. And again, the senior side of things, because it's crazy.
And that's incredible. So, I'm going to highlight this. So I'm going to actually ask you after this to either Facebook me or email me all the links to that, because I think that is very crucial and very beneficial for people to get that education, because it's just like me and my business, right? If I didn't have that proper knowledge, going to school, you got the knowledge to get your certificate, but that's not enough knowledge to actually go work on somebody's skin and know what you're doing. So you have
really
to go
jack
in
something
more in
up.
depth. Yeah, exactly.
You don't ask the right questions.
Yeah. And so I think it's really beneficial for people to do this. And, hey, it's education, it's a write-off, it's everything else. I mean, it's a perk. You should be doing it.
Yeah. We're working on getting some of it, structured for continuing ed, but that's probably going to be Q4.
Nice. And do you personally coach people like this on the side?
I do. Actually,
Good.
one of the top agents in this marketplace, I love him to death. He came to me about 10 years ago and he was in factory work and he didn't know what he was doing. And, he didn't know, a lot of us, I mean, I was a truck driver's daughter, I didn't understand money and, still trying to figure some stuff out. But, I didn't understand like really what you could do with it, and how many people you could help and how much
Yeah.
money you could make. And neither did he. And he came to me and I started coaching him and I still do a few clients on the side, but he
Nice.
now literally is selling as much as I do. He last year I think he did 115 transactions with one
Nice.
buyer agent and one transaction coordinator.
Nice.
And when you're at that level, you're freaking profitable,
Yeah.
And he did it through me just coaching him and he listened, that's the other thing. Like, what is your coach is for if you're not going to be coachable? And then he actually went and hired the coaching. Once he started doing well and making more money,
Yeah.
he kind of graduated and I sent him to the coaching company that trained me how to be great. And he's
Nice.
still there.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
it's fun.
that's good. And that's a great nugget because, I always tell everybody that, having a coach or a mentor or however you want to say it, everybody should have one in their different arena,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Depending on what you want to do and how you want to grow, that maybe you
Yeah.
can't afford to have like, a spiritual coach or mentor, but
Uh,
you need to get your business to another level. And this is the first step that you do before you get to that next level.
Yep.
I highly, highly tell people that it is super beneficial to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we talked over that because I think this is definitely going to be a highlight
Yeah.
of this podcast.
Well, coaching is, it's kind of like investing in yourself. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to invest in yourself, and I've had 3 or 4 coaches at any given time, and, I've literally probably spent a couple million over the last 20 years in coaching,
Yeah.
but the return on that has been way higher,
Yep.
and that it's an investment in yourself. Like in any business and anything, it's either an expense or an investment, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of people that have went through the same coaching program that I've gone through and what I teach that don't make it and like, oh, that sucks. It's bad. Or same thing, like the leads that come in, like, oh, that sucks. Like the leads all suck. Well, no, you suck because you don't learn how to talk to them,
Close the leads.
Yeah, exactly. And the coaching doesn't suck. Like you're not following the program. You know what I mean? And so that's the biggest part. And if you can't, you said something really important in the fact that not everybody has, a few grand a month or, even $500 a month sometimes to invest in themselves early on. But what you can do, you can listen to podcasts like these, you can read books. Like I have probably 1,000 books and I've read them all. And
What
the
is
ones
your
I
favorite
really
book?
like are on my podcast.
Okay.
I mean, on my podcast, I'm sorry, my Audibles. And I
Okay.
don't watch TV. So I figured out how to get my Audibles through my Sonos at my house.
Nice.
That's all I listen to is books. What is my favorite? I have quite a few. Like it depends. Like you mentioned spiritual. Like when I'm feeling, I've had a couple rough months lately, to be honest. And so what I realized is I was getting away from my spiritual connection in God, and MGM or MDM actually helped me a lot with that. And so I actually met Wayne Dyer in 2004, right before my mom passed away. And there was a book out called Power of Intention.
Mm-hmm.
And that book is always really special to me spiritually. And then that sent me on to another book called The Moses Code, business side. I think if anybody doesn't read Think and Grow Rich, they're setting themselves up for failure. It's just a long time classic, right? The other one that is really good is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I love that book. Yeah.
Yeah. If you, and that's what I'm saying, like before I could afford back then, $1,000 a month, and this was 1999. So think about $1,000 a month in 1999. That's like
a lot of money.
Yeah. Right. I just got all these books and I read them and over and over again, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the 4 Agreements. Those are all good.
I've read all of them. Great books.
Yeah, I know, right? They're the classics. And then there's all the new ones out. Like right now, we're all working on traction and rocket fuel and trying to get our businesses straight, So there's always great stuff coming out, but truly there's always almost one theme, under the spiritual books or the business books. And so those are probably my favorite classics.
Yeah.
I don't really read anything other than business or spiritual books.
Yeah. That's me too.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I actually just started following following this guy on YouTube,
Mhm.
and his name, which I'm going to butcher, and I hope I don't, but it's Sadhguru. I think it is. It's SADH Guru, Sadhguru. But
I wrote that down.
yeah, it's SADH Guru. But he, honestly, I really like him because I love, I went on my kick on Abraham Hicks, right? And I listened
Oh
to
God,
all of
yeah.
her stuff, right?
Engrossed, yeah.
Yeah. But then it's kind of like, okay, I'm over that. I'm not there anymore. I need to
Yep.
move. And then he's kind of like that next
Next
kickoff.
level.
You
That's
know what I
cool.
mean? And I really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been sharing him a lot lately. So he's great.
That's cool. Thanks for that. Oh,
No, you're welcome. So is there anything like you really want to highlight before we end the podcast of like you, who you are, what you want the world to know?
well, I guess basically what frustrates me the most is that people think that success just comes easy. You know what I mean? And there's so many haters out there that if you turn that around and you quit hating other people that are doing what you want to do and just put in the freaking work, you can have that too.
Yeah.
And remember along the way that you've got to have that support. Like, Apex for me, I'm relatively new to Apex, but I've been in coaching programs forever. And the thing I love about Apex is the mental support, the emotional support, the physical support, the financial opportunities that we all bring together. But it's like making sure that you're surrounding yourself by people that are going to push you up, because especially when you start out at the very beginning, like I did, and you have to make those tough decisions like you have. I mean, if my dog doesn't pee on command, my morning schedule is jacked up. I couldn't imagine being a single mom running a business and having kids. I'm like, holy hell, you know what I mean? I'm not kidding. Like,
Yeah.
even my new little Frenchie, like he's away at
Yeah.
obedience training. People are like, why are you sending a French bulldog to obedience training? I'm like, because he's an asshole and he needs to behave.
I
You know,
love
I
you.
sent my Rottweiler, I sent my bull mastiffs, my Frenchie's going too, and he's gone back 3 times now.
I love
So
it.
he's tougher than the big ones.
Can we
But-
send our boyfriends off to
I
school?
know, right? Well, working on that too. That's another spiritual thing. I don't have one of those right now. But anyway, that's another whole conversation. It would be nice to be able to send them away to boot camp anytime they were acting up, though, wouldn't it? We'd be a lot happier.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
just really like it's just knowing that success can come to anyone, but it's not going to come to everyone if they
Yeah.
don't work hard. And that's the other thing I love about our group is that there's not one person in there that I think came from a silver spoon.
No.
And there's people in there making, multiple 8 digits. And don't be afraid, because that's another thing. Like again, my dad was a truck driver, love that, got my work ethic, but I respect the profession crazy. Yet he never made a whole lot of money, and so we were always driving used cars and whatever. But you have to believe that money is energy, and just because you're making more of it doesn't mean you're taking it away from somebody else.
Yep.
And it's really our God-given right to do more, be more, and have more so we can help more.
Amen.
Right? Does
Yep.
that make sense? So
Absolutely.
I don't know
So-
if I answered your question on that either. Again,
No,
maybe.
that's true. Because I actually tell people this a lot of times, especially when I coach a lot of clients that have fear around money, because
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody has that.
Yeah.
And if somebody tells you they don't, they're lying, because
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Everybody does, especially when you're leveling up and you're
Yep.
spending that type of money,
Yep.
right? And what I have told them is, let's change our mindset to the fact that when I spend $5,000 on something, I'm blessing that money for you.
Yep.
I'm blessing that to you, because when I bless that to you, I know with that blessing, it's going to come back to me,
Absolutely.
even more.
Yeah.
And I'm helping somebody with that.
Absolutely.
And that's how that's how you should look at money. And
Yeah.
then you look at it in a whole different way. And I think
Yep.
it's everything from our childhood, right? Oh,
Yeah.
can I buy that? No, we don't have the money for that. Oh,
Right.
I can't afford that. That's too expensive. Or,
Yeah.
it's all
That's
of
like
that.
ingrained.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so it makes us like our brain is already poisoned
Hmm.
by those thoughts of
Yeah.
negativity around money.
Yep. Absolutely. And, again, like since I was 20 years old, like, I mean, I never really had a job, Jen. Like, I seriously was in college and I
Yeah.
was kind of fortunate I didn't really have to work, but I started on strict commission and I've never done anything but real estate. When the times got tough, I got tougher,
Yep.
You've got to learn how to pivot. And
Yeah.
so, again, back to the NAR being national things, another 12 months, they've wasted $1,500 and they'll be out of the business, like over
Yeah.
half of them.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
to say that, but not if they call me and get my coaching.
Yeah. Well, and that's how a lot of the multi-level marketings work is because they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that and I'm going to sell this. And then they grab on and then
Yeah.
they just get that reoccurring payment and nobody
Well,
follows through
real
with it.
estate is the same way, and there's actually a new best company out there right now. I won't mention any names, but it is a big FNMLM,
Yeah.
and it's great for the people that get into the beginning, like any
Yeah.
MLM.
Yeah.
But once it like feathers out,
Yeah.
and then you got to be careful on that because, yeah, you're getting a lot of people in. It's a numbers game, and I get it.
Yeah.
But like, don't be relying on that residual income coming in from them
Yeah.
because unless you build it really big, like Jessie Lee,
Yeah.
she's set. But
She's set.
she's one, and she's a pinnacle. But don't start spending the money that you're making from those people because again, they're not going to do the work and they're not going to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Which I hate because I love real estate.
Well, I think we tied into a lot, and I think a lot of people got great feedback. And then I'm going to post all those links below too,
Yep.
because I think it's really beneficial. I don't know of anything that's out there like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. So
True transparency. We're still working on getting the landing pages finished.
Okay.
So I may have to get that back to you, but I will
fine.
definitely, we'll share that.
This won't post anyway for probably like a couple weeks. So
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Yep.
we're good. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Excited.
Even if it's just a link to like your personal,
they can follow me too on it's real estate specific. I have a page on Facebook called Real Estate Perfected.
Okay.
Where I talk about a lot of things real estate,
Okay. Nice.
like the 4 lies the brokers tell you that they need to stop. I'm just very out there with it, but it'll help anybody in any market, and then anyone can always reach out to me too. I'm happy to help.
So where can they find you at on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, I'm at Instagram at Denise Swick Real Estate.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook at just Denise Swick, and then Real Estate Perfected is my non-branded page out there. Remax Performance is my public or my business page. I'm also on LinkedIn.
Nice.
Again, just my name, Denise Swick.
Nice.
And there's one more place. I don't know where am I at? Those are the 3. DeniseSwick.com. You can reach out my website. Duh. That's it.
That's okay. So
we're also revamping to like bring more of this in, plus the senior and estates and probates that I do a lot of too.
No, that's awesome. Do you work with a lot of trust people around there?
I do.
Awesome.
I do.
Yeah.
It's a niche that I've by accident carved out, but building a whole nother business out of it right now.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We'll talk about that in June.
Good.
When I see
Good.
It's really awesome.
Good. So before we end today,
yes,
I always ask everybody, WTF is beauty anyway for you. So what do you feel like beauty is to you?
So I love that question because it's so different to other people or to everybody. And we all have, not we all, like collectively, like I should speak for me. We all have insecurities, but what really I find the most beautiful in males and especially females is confidence in themselves.
Absolutely.
You can be the most beautiful person, wear the best, the finest clothes and the, red bottom shoes and have the best skin and makeup and hair and just be an asshole. You know what I mean? But when you're just confident in who you are and your abilities, I find that incredibly beautiful in everybody.
I agree.
And kindness too.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad that you said that because it does to me too. Like when I meet somebody and they're kind of intimidating, right?
Yeah.
But if they're fully beautiful inside, it's a total different instead of even somebody that's like, I know everything. Well, no, you don't. Like, be honest, be humble, say what you don't know, be open because that's how we learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 I won't know everything the day I die.
Amen to that one. I
But
know.
that's another core value of mine is growth. And, I think a lot of us share that in our group, or we
Yep.
wouldn't be in that group.
So what are your core values?
Integrity, growth, proactive, responsibility, and communication.
Nice. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them. Well,
Thank you.
thank you. I appreciate it. I think we had a great conversation. And I think it was really good that we highlighted the education. So
Yeah.
if anybody has questions, you can always DM me or DM Denise. I'm going to put a lot of her links up too, so that we have all the info. But I want to say thank you.
Thank you. I'm
And,
very grateful.
Yeah. And to all the audience, please rate, review, subscribe, share. That's how we go forward. And that's how we get great people noticed. And, especially our Apex family. If anybody's ever interested in joining Apex, please reach out because it is phenomenal. And it doesn't even have an executive team. You can do the lower two. And I think you get just as good knowledge as you do
the
the
3 tiers.
executives. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny to just piggyback on that a second. I know you got to go, but
No. Yeah.
what I love about that is that the executive group is like, you've got to have aspirations to get to a certain level, and the criteria keeps it at a certain level. But executives in that group are learning from the entrepreneurs and you know what I mean? And they're posting in all 3 different groups. So just because you may not be in the executives group, like starting an entourage or is it entourage and entrepreneurs?
Yep.
Is like, there's so much value in each of those. And back to what I said about kind of like, it's hard to be successful because people are going to be jealous and bringing you down. It's like crabs in a barrel, right?
Yeah.
Well, I see so many people posting on there, and this is what I freaking love. And it happens is that it's a place that you can be safe and authentic. And when I think somebody posted in Entourage the other day about how he's got all these wins in his new business. He's a younger guy. And everyone, like when he posts on his Facebook page, like his family and friends, no one's cheering him on. And it's all Apex. I don't know if you saw that post or not. Like I'm sitting here getting chills just talking about it because literally he's like, it's my Apex family, people that I've never even friggin' met. Right.
Yeah.
But because that group is like-minded, they're there cheering you on and you've got this. And just the contrary, like people are having rough times, and you go on there and like, hey, I've had a few shitty months, I need help. Who can help me? And there's not that many powerful people that are making the kind of money that executives have that are willing to be that vulnerable because they like pretend like they know it all. So I love that you said that whatever level you start in, just start.
Yeah. I mean, you'll know me up there as a coach. If somebody asks me, I'm like, I have no clue.
Yeah.
Like that is not my forte. I don't know. And that is, I feel a lot of the coaches that are up there, they all own it. And
but I know who does.
Like, yeah, exactly. We know somebody that can help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
it's insane. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you, my love. And that is a wrap. So I will see you in the beginning of June. But everybody else, have an amazing day.
Thank you for having me on. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for turning in this week. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're feeling stronger mentally and physically and ready to kick some ass. As we navigate new society norms, business and beauty breakthroughs, make sure to always ask yourself, what the fuck is beauty to me? And know that's all that really matters. If you love this content today, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow me and get more info on how to work with me at JennCarrasco.com. You can also find me on all of your favorite social media platforms. Now just remember, stay mentally tough.